this year's federal budget, we had one of the most significant commitments to medical research we have seen in recent times. It's over 20 years ago, almost 30 years ago, when John Porter, congressman from Chicago area, North Shore, Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania, and Tom Harkin of Iowa set out to double the budget of the National Institutes of Health, and they did it. One of the most dramatic and amazing commitments this country's ever made to medical research. When I met with Dr. Francis Collins 2 years ago, I said to him, I wish I could promise you I'll do this again, but what can I do that can make a significant difference? He said, Senator, if you can give me 5% real growth in medical research at the NIH for 10 years, I'll light up the scoreboard. We have so many things that we're now investigating and now researching that can make a dramatic difference in the lives of Americans, spare them the suffering and death coming from current disease, and save us money in the federal budget. That's what I need, 5% real growth. Sounds easy, right? Not so easy, particularly when you're dealing with a federal budget and a deficit. So I set out to see what I could do. I introduced a bill called the American Cures Act. I explained to those who were interested that if we were going to give 5% real growth to the NIH, the CDC, veterans, and the Department of Defense in medical research, over 10 years it would cost us $150 billion. That was the delta, 10 years. That's a lot of money, but not in the context of a $1.5 trillion federal budget each year. So the notion was to get those of both political parties to commit to it, and we did. We got it done. And the net result of it is significant. First, let me tell you the national numbers, and then let me tell you a little bit about what it means to Illinois and bring in the experts who will tell you how the money can be used in the future. To give you a notion, the increase in the National Institutes of Health in this budget that we've agreed to, 6.64%, 5% over inflation. It's a total of $32.08 billion in the National Institutes of Health. Center for Disease Control, not quite as good, $7.23 billion, a 4.5% increase over last year. Veterans, $630 million, a 7% increase. And the one that I had some responsibility for with the Department of Defense health programs, another 7% increase. That's 3 years, more than 5% increase in Department of Defense. And we are coordinating medical research among these federal agencies. When it gets down to the impact on Illinois, you're going to hear it from the experts here, but I wanted to share with you just a couple numbers. In 2015, the state of Illinois received $710 million in NIH funding, supporting 14,000 jobs, creating more than $2 billion in economic activity. Northwestern University alone received $293 million. This is real money, and it can have a real impact. Before I introduce those who are the expert and researchers in the field, let me say this. When I made the decision to run again for the United States Senate, I did it because I had goals in mind, things that I wanted to do that might make a difference, not just in Illinois, but in the nation. Tops of that list, medical research. My friends, when it comes to medical research, the victims, the patients, the families don't care, don't give a damn about political party labels. They want to know when there's a diagnosis that scares the heck out of them, whether or not there's a cure or a surgical procedure or something that they can put hope in. That's what medical research is all about.